feel like I'm made out of gingerbread. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Crumb picking, lip licking gingerbread. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. Hello, everybody. Hey, Deb. Deb, I never got back to you from last week. I'm so sorry. I think I fell asleep right after our session. All right. All right, Roulette and Joe. We have a yes. Awesome, Tammy. Awesome. Did you want a card tonight, Deb? Excuse me. Oh, you are so welcome, Tammy. I'm so glad to hear that. It's funny because it's, as a reader, as a healer, it's so hard sometimes to know if things are hitting home or not, because we're like talking literally off the top of our head, right? Oh, okay. Thank you, Deb and Nancy. You guys are going to be on standby so other people can get in. Awesome. Thank you for that validation, Tammy. It's always good to get that feedback, to know that I'm not crazy. Oh, awesome. Good. I'm so glad. Awesome. And thank you, Deb and Nancy. So we have 3 spots left. Everyone, hello. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. Welcome to a Monday night mini medicine card reading. And the way this works, excuse me, if anyone is watching that would like a 1 card reading, you can go ahead and just comment yes. Put yes in the comments. We've got 3 spots left. I try to do six 1 card readings, and then I always I always pick a card at the very end for everybody, whether you got a 1 card reading or not. So everybody. Oh, hey, Chelsea. Awesome. Got you on the list. Oh, I'm so glad that Roulette and Joe. I did readings and healings for Joe and Roulette this past week, and apparently they went really well. Made their head spin in the best way possible. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad. It was powerful stuff. All right. So, and the only thing I ask is, if you're watching this, if you could please share the video. You can either share it to your own page, to your own wall, or you can tag someone in the comments, share it to a friend in Messenger, whatever. Share the love. All right, so we have 2 spots left. Maybe we'll have somebody joining us, and if not, Deb and Nancy will get a couple cards. So, all right, well, why don't we just go ahead and get started? Roulette, you are number 1, of course. All right, let's see. Oh, Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Good to have you here. Thank you. All right. Got 1 spot left. We're start with roulette. Oh, I forgot to... A little spacey, just as per usual. I just woke up from a nap. It's funny, like I wake up on Monday mornings, I'm like, woohoo! It's my day off, one of my days off. We won't, we'll see. We'll try not to give you another upside down porcupine, Kevin. I'll get up and it's like, woohoo, I've got the whole day to myself. I'm going to go to the river and do ceremony. So I go to the river and do ceremony for a couple hours, and I come back and it's like, I am so tired. I'm going to take a nap. And so I take a nap, and then it's like waking up just before for this every week. So maybe that makes me more open for just that tad bit tired. So those inhibitions and normal left brain functioning is kind of offline. So I'm just kind of smudging my cards here for a moment. All right. Feel like I'm made out of gingerbread. Uh-huh. Crumb picking, lip licking gingerbread. All right. This one is for roulette. Haha. All right. Roulette. The one that came up for you was butterfly. And she came up reversed. So I feel like okay, it feels like you're in the process of coming out of the cocoon, right? It's like, you know, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and totally gets rearranged from the DNA up to create this whole different creature. And then the butterfly is there in the cocoon. And so if you've been feeling a lot of, I don't know, frustration, like feeling like waiting for things to happen, waiting and like, why isn't this happening yet? Or like, I've already done this, why is this coming up again? All of those kind of things. It's like you're the butterfly, you're in the cocoon and you're ready to come out, right? Because you've done all the work, you've done everything you need to do, and now, you know, it's like when I'm doing a soul retrieval for someone, I always like to schedule them out like at least a week, if not 2 weeks, just so that the person's system has a chance to adjust. Because once you set that intention to heal, that's when the healing really starts. And so in that couple of weeks, the person usually goes through a bunch of old issues, old fears, old judgments, etc., come up during that couple of weeks, because as those soul parts that are coming back to them, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, soul retrieval, when we have a trauma of some sort, part of our psyche goes away to protect itself, right? And they don't always find their way back. So soul retrieval is this ancient shamanic technique to find those soul parts and bring them back to a person so they can be more whole. And so in that 2-week span before the actual appointment, a lot of times issues or like healing crises or something like that might come up. And it's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong. It's actually a sign that the healing is happening, because it's the new parts coming in, well, the new old soul parts making their way in, pushing their way in, kind of like getting into a full tub of water, pushing that water out. It's like, oh, hey, Cricket, good to see you. We got one spot left if you want it, Cricket. Let me know. So anyway, so like when the healing, when those things are pushing their way in, all of the crap and the energy that has taken their place in the ensuing years or whatever it was, start to push out. And so a lot of times when we are gotcha, Cricket, you're on the list, yay. That's our 6th one, yay. So Roulette, when there's like a healing coming, when there's a big change coming, a lot of times it feels like we kind of take a nosedive. Like all of a sudden, we're like waiting for that thing to happen. We're so sure it's going to happen. And then like the opposite stuff happens and we give up. And it's like, well, okay, well, obviously that wasn't working. But it's that frustration, that little bit of resistance, that is you pushing through the threads of that cocoon, right? And the thing is, the reason that's important is because you probably heard me say this dozens of times on this over the last couple of years, but the butterfly, when it's in the cocoon, its wings aren't fully, the wings are developed, but they're loose. There's like nothing to them. They can't hold any weight or anything. And it's by pushing through the threads of the cocoon that it pushes there's this fluid they have in their guts, and the resistance, that pushes that fluid up into their wings so that their wings can become fully functional. Okay? So in other words, that was the long explanation. The short explanation is, hang on. Even if things aren't going the way you want them to right now, even if things aren't going exactly the way you want, know that it is inevitable. Your wings are there. They're just ready to be plumped up. You know, it's like this other analogy has been coming to me a lot lately about like a hot air balloon, right? It's like you've got the structure. The structure is there. The balloon is there. It's just limp and laying all over the place because it needs that spark, that heat to fill it up. And it's like that's where you are right now. It's like the structure is there. You've done the work. Everything is ready. It's just waiting for that initial spark to light that fire, to fill out the balloon, to fill up those wings so that you can actually fly. And, you know, you mentioned like when I did the healing on you that your hands were hot and everything. That's that spark. That's that energy within you. That wasn't from me. That was you. That was your energy lighting up to fill out that balloon, to fill up those wings. I don't know how to respond to that. You're plump enough already. Well, okay. We'll just say the non-physical, we'll plump up the non-physical unseen parts. Okay, but you're doing so well. Everything is on schedule. Everything is in harmony. It's that little bit extra push through that resistance, you know, like when I'm teaching shamanic journeying, like when we journey to the lower world, right, where the animal guides tend to be, and the way you know you've arrived is because you feel this downward motion, and then there's this moment of resistance at some point, and it's like that resistance of like going through a spider web, or like through like the top of the water or something, like there's like a skin or a film that you push through, and then once you feel that, you know you're there. It's like that's how close you are. It's like just this thin film, and it's pushing through that. Interesting, I just got the visual of like as you're pushing through that film, that resistance of the film is actually part of what, it's like going through a car wash. It's like you're pushing through, and the brushes and the everything else is pushing all the crap, all the muck from the past off of you. It's like going through that resistance is part of what brings you out clear and pure and clean, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so Joe, you are next. Uh-huh. From pickin' lip licking gingerbread. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. All right. I'm saying mix them up more. Working at the car wash. I love you. You're like my long lost sister that I never had, that I never knew I had. All right, Joe. All right. Joe, you have 2 cards that had jumped out. So you get a bonus card. So 2 cards jumped out for you, Joe. And they kind of jumped out sideways. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. So they weren't either upright or in reverse. So it's kind of like that neutral point, like hitting that balance. And okay, so bear and lizard, and they fit together really well because bear, of course, is about introspection, going into the cave. Like this is the perfect time of the year for bear medicine, but bear hibernating, bear going into the cave, into the womb of the mother in order to rest and connect. It's like a whole to be reborn. So bear is about seeking that darkness, seeking that rest, right? And what do we do when we're sleeping in the dark? We're hibernating, we're resting, we dream. Lizard is the dreamer. Lizard is about dreaming your world into reality. And so I think maybe the reason they both came out horizontal is it's like a validation and indication that you're doing everything, you're doing as much as you need to do. There's no extra action that is called for right now, because the action called for is inaction. The action called for now is to dream. And it's like, as long as I've been doing these cards, I'm still learning things about them. And I had this realization like a week or two ago about Lizard, just out of the blue. I wasn't even doing card readings at the time. And it was like, Lizard is kind of the, I don't know how to say it, but Lizard brings in all the stuff about the quantum reality, the quantum physics, and how he's the dreamer. He's the one, he's the part of you that knows what's best for you, that calls in all of the best experiences, the best people, the best everything that you need. And so it's again, like with Bear, introspection and turning inward, stillness, resting, and reaching out with your dreams. Oh, hey, Esperanza. Yeah, we've got 6 people already, but we'll see. Maybe I can tuck a couple more in there. We'll see. And so Lizard as the dreamer, Lizard is you as the center of your reality, right? And as you think, as you feel, as you imagine, things come into your reality that reflect those feelings and those things, right? And so I'm not really explaining this very well. There's a story with Lizard that he was sitting there just basking in the sun, right? Just soaking in the heat and the warmth, and he's just resting, and he's daydreaming. And Coyote came up and was like, "What are you doing? Are you sleeping?" And Lizard's like, "No, I'm dreaming." He's like, Coyote was like, "Well, what's the difference?" And Lizard was like, "I'm in full consciousness, full consciousness. I'm exerting my energy outward, to manifest, to create." And Coyote was like, "Well, why aren't you afraid of me? Why don't you run away when I came up?" And Lizard was like, "Because I dreamt you with a full belly." And it's like realizing, again, going back to that whole friendly universe, that the universe is safe, the universe is friendly, the universe is abundant. And it's about getting out of the way when we are connected to Creator, to Spirit, and allow that energy through us, that spirit energy to flow. Everything falls into place. Everything that happens, you can trust has a purpose, right? I mean, everything has a purpose, whether we're aware of it or not. But when you come from that place of Lizard, where you're the one who's dreaming reality into place, that, for example, that last weekend I took some days off to go be in the woods for a couple of days by myself, and I'm doing ceremony out in the middle of the night, out on this picnic table by the cabin, and I hear this rustling in the trees, right? And my first reptilian mind response is, "Oh my God, what is it? What if it's something bad?" And then I stopped for a moment and I thought about Lizard, and I'm like, why would I create a bear or a cougar or something to come get me? Right? It's like, okay, I live in a friendly universe. Nothing is gonna happen to me that is not for my highest good. And granted, maybe for whatever reason, a cougar coming out of the woods and attacking me might be for my highest good. I don't know. But when you live in a friendly universe, you know that everything that happens. So number one, I could relax because chances are I'm in ceremony. I'm with my sacred pipe. I'm blowing breath prayers to Creator. I'm in sacred space. If a cougar happened to attack at that moment, there would be a deep, deep reason for it. And so you can relax, because chances are you would not create that. Why would you create that in the first place? Number two, whatever happens, you know you're going to get through it. You know that there's a reason for it, that everything that happens is a step closer to your highest possible self. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if sometimes it's so hard to unwrap the words and put them in order to describe what I'm feeling or seeing. But you can relax knowing that whatever happens is for the highest good. And that you continue to dream. You set those dreams, those intentions, like again, my cosmic GPS system, right? You set your destination by your intentions, by your dreams, and then you let go and you trust the universe to guide you there. And anything between the moment you set that intention and the realization of that intention is a step needed to get to where that is, to become who you need to be to actually arrive at that destination. So when you live, and it's funny because one of my guides came in that weekend. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm not being spiritual enough. I'm not doing enough ceremony. I'm not meditating enough, blah, blah, blah. And one of my guides stepped in and was like, you always worry about who you are and what you're doing when you're not actively in ceremony. And he's like, you are always in ceremony. Every act is a sacred act. And that's what it means to walk in beauty. That's the phrase that if I had a mission in life, if I had a mission statement, that's what it would be, is to walk in beauty, which means everything, every act, everything you say or do creates beauty in the world rather than creating fear or division. In a nutshell, there's so much more to it, but anyway, so when you know that you are living consciously, when you know that everything you do is a sacred act, you can trust that the universe is going to respond in like manner, and that everything you encounter is a stepping stone to where you want to be. Okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, Tammy. Tammy, you are the next card beholder. All right. Tammy, you got the hawk. And hawk is the messenger of the gods. When hawk pops up, like there's this tradition, and I don't know if it's tribe specific or if this goes cross cultural, but anytime they hear a hawk cry, they stop and pay attention to what's around them, or pay attention to what was the last thing they said or the last thing that they thought. It's kind of like, I can never pronounce that, the Vietnamese monk who recently passed, he had the Plum Village in Colorado, I think. But I know one of their practices was that, like, randomly during the day, they'd have a bell that would ring. And it was like when you heard that bell, it's like you stopped wherever you were, whatever you were doing, and you paid attention. It's kind of like a wake-up call. And like, okay, what am I doing? Am I doing it mindfully? What was the last thing I did? What was the last thing I said? What was the last thing I thought? What was I thinking when the bell went off? Because it's like that hawk call or the bell happens to kind of emphasize whatever the last thing you were thinking about, to kind of validate that whatever you were thinking or saying at that time is correct. So Hawk is talking to you, and it's like, so this is like the hawk calling, the hawk crying to you to let you know, to validate to you that you have been hearing the messages, that you have been, whether it comes in words or feelings or just knowing something or whatever, you are hearing what you're hearing, you are feeling what you're feeling, that your intuition is correct, and that you don't need permission, you don't need validation, because you do know, you do receive the guidance. You do receive it. You don't have to question it. You don't have to ask other people's opinions of it. And you can trust what you're getting. And I remember you mentioned about last week how it was, your message was to stand down. And this goes along with it. Hawk kind of shows you, I mean, hawk is one of the predators of prairie dog, right? You got prairie dog last week, and the message was to stand down. And so we've got like a full circle predator-prey thing going on. And I'm just trying to piece it together. And so it's because you have taken to heart that message of standing down, of standing back, of retreating from the world, that you've been able to open to the things that you couldn't hear before because you were too bustly, too protected, trying to keep your head down, trying to protect yourself, but fighting, moving forward, trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. And so by actually taking that space for yourself, breathing, you can now hear that still small voice within you that is guiding you. You no longer have to worry about whether you're doing the right thing, if you're going in the right direction, because inwardly you know you have stilled yourself enough that you can hear. You don't have all that commotion of thoughts and criticisms and opinions of the world going on. Now you've actually given yourself that space that you can hear that voice of spirit, that you can rest assured that wherever you are is the right place at the right time. Okay? So kudos to you for taking to heart so well that message last week. And know that when Hawk shows up, a lot of times it's not necessarily just that, the messenger of the gods, it's not just that there's a message coming through for you, but that you also are a messenger of the gods. And by opening to your own guidance, having that space, opening to your own guidance, you can't help but help others, right? Be the right person at the right time. You are the synchronicities that happen for other people. You just pop up and someone has a question and you know exactly how to answer it, or you know exactly what to do, or you have the right words. You might not even know where the words are coming from. But someone asks a question and you just blah, 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 blah. And you're like, holy crap, where the hell did that come from, right? So you can trust those messages, trust the connection. You have bridged that. Now that I've reshuffled her into the deck, you have become that bridge between heaven and earth, like Hawk. You know, Eagle soars above everyone. Eagle is kind of untouchable, what everyone aspires to be. And Hawk is the one that tends to up in the air, you know, seeing the perspective and then diving to the earth to get a rabbit or a prairie dog, as the case may be, going back up and down and up. So he's the messenger between heaven and earth. That's why he's called the messenger of the gods, because he connects the spiritual and the physical realms. And that's what's happening for you. Now that you're standing down, you can actually access that, what we call in shamanism, the hollow bone, where you become the vessel for that information to come through, for that guidance, and you can trust that guidance, okay? So I just keep hearing, just have fun with it. See how far you can go with it. It becomes kind of this challenge, like, okay, my heart's telling me to do this, and the world's telling me to do that. What if I did what my heart wants me to do and not the world? Oh. And as you continue to do that, you get more validation that that is the way the universe works and that you can trust your heart. So good job, Tammy. Awesome. All right, Chelsea. Chelsea, it is your turn. Let's see who comes up for you today. Dum, bum, ba, da, 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 dum, ba, dum. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. You pulled the... You're welcome, Tammy. I hope that made sense. Hi, Deborah. Chelsea, you pulled the hollow bone card for your new drum. That's awesome. Okay. Chelsea. It's so funny. It's like, okay, I'm going to limit myself to 6 single card readings, right? So... we're fine, and then Joe gets 2 cards that jump out for him. I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. And then comes along Chelsea, who has 3 cards jump out of the deck for her. Talk about messengers of the gods. Talk about getting your messages. So we're just going to go with it. So the 3 cards that came up. Deborah, I'm sorry, I do six individual readings, and then at the end I pull a card for everyone. I've got all 6 people, but if you hang on till the end, I will pull a card for the collective, and just pay it, like I tell people, pay attention as we're going through this, because these might be readings for specific individuals, but there's always, if this is in your realm of perception, in your reality, you're watching this, then there's always a message for you as well. So you're welcome. I always feel bad turning people down, but I'm not really turning you down, because you've got you got all of the You got 3 more people coming plus an extra card at the end. So hopefully that will be enough. So Chelsea, we've got antelope, got crow in the middle that came up reverse, and we've got squirrel. So, are we doing a little bit of shadow work? When the center card, the crow coming up reversed, like on the picture, right? It's got crow looking at his shadow in the water, but which one is crow and which one is his shadow, right? And so it gets to, it's like that process of sorting out what is really us and what isn't. What's just a reflection, what's just an illusion, and who are we truly? What's our core? Where are we? Who are we? And so it's like going into that shadow, going into the darkness to find the light. Like a shaman goes into the darkness to find the light. Like we even cover our eyes, and so that we, like I was talking about with Tammy, about quieting the other voices, cutting out all the outside stimulation so you can be more aware of the inner stimulation, the inner guidance. And so you've been doing a lot of work toward sorting out what is true and what is not true for you. And the only reason the card's in reverse is because just like the crow card, you're in the middle of it right now. You've still got a little bit to go. But these two are coming up to show you how much work you've actually already done, okay? Antelope is about sacrifice, but not sacrifice like I grew up learning sacrifice in the Catholic Church and, martyrdom, and I am worthless and I'm only worthwhile if I can give, here's my left arm, take it, whatever, right? But the sacrifice that Antelope speaks of is sacrificing all those things that, as innocuous as they might be, they're like distractions that take just enough energy, just eke out enough energy to keep you from going full forward on your path. And so Antelope is about cutting out all those extras and focusing so that you have all that energy we use to hide ourselves or pretend we're one thing when we're something else, or little distractions. It could be anything, right? Video games, TV, alcohol, whatever. It could be anything. And it's like, we think we're doing okay, which, I mean, it's hard to do these readings without making it sound like there's a judgment involved, because we live in a world of duality. But there's no judgment there. No matter where you are exactly where you need to be. And that's for everybody. That wasn't pointed just at you, Chelsea. But when we're on such a spiritual path, we have to sacrifice those things that actually hold us back. And you've been doing that. You've been letting go left and right of the different thoughts and beliefs, habits, what have you, that by themselves don't see. It's like nickel and diming yourself to death, right? With energy. It's like we give out a couple of pennies here, nickel there, a dollar there won't hurt. And we end up expending all this energy that then leaves us at a detriment, not being able to gather the energy we need to move forward. Does that make sense? So you have been doing a lot of work moving toward that higher self. Like the story that goes with Antelope is that when the people first came across the Bering Strait during the Ice Age, they were starving, they were cold, they were thirsty. They were vegetarian at that time, according to the story, and so they didn't have anything to eat. They didn't know how to take care of themselves. They were freezing. And so Antelope jumped, seeing their plight, jumped in and said, "Here, take my body, take my meat for your food, take my skin for your homes, my fur for your clothing to keep you warm," because Antelope knew he was more than just the body. Antelope knew that he could afford to sacrifice these things, not from the martyrdom, but in a win-win. If it's not a win-win, then nobody wins. But because he knew that he was spirit having an antelope experience, he knew that he could give up this physical existence because he would still be in that spiritual existence. And besides that, he knew he would be reborn into the herd the very next spring. So he lost nothing but gained that perspective by dropping all the stuff that was holding him down from becoming his higher self. And I'm not saying to like sacrifice, give up your physical being. It's a metaphor, but it's giving up all those things that keep you grounded, that keep you from claiming that greatness that you already have within you. Okay? And then with Squirrel is a testament to how much fun is like, this is not a task. You are having fun with it. Just like Squirrel chasing and running and leaping and jumping, and you're enjoying the journey, which is awesome. And the thing about Squirrel is Squirrel is kind of a Squirrel medicine is kind of about abundance in a way, because it's not about hoarding like we tend to think of Squirrel, like squirreling things away. But Squirrel is about that enthusiastic, like, oh my God, that's the biggest acorn I've ever seen. Thank you. And that seeing the happy gifts, the happy surprises, the gratitude for them, the receiving of them fully, and then returning them, digging a hole and burying them, returning them to the Earth Mother. And so again, it's that constant flow of spirit, that constant flow of energy through you, that is the source of your abundance. It's the source of your joy, because you can't, if your arms are full of nuts and acorns, you have no more room to receive anymore, right? If you're trying to hold on to what you've got. And so it's like receiving those and letting them go through so your arms are open to receive more. And the thing about that, by being in the moment, by gratitude for what you are receiving in the moment, but not holding on to it with a fist, come wintertime, when you're really hungry, you're like, there was that giant acorn that I buried over there. I'm going to go dig it up. I'm going to eat it now. It's like by being present in every moment. Rather than thinking ahead of, oh, I need to make sure I have this stocked up and this stored up and blah, blah, blah. If you take care of yourself in every moment, every future moment is also taken care of, and the universe will give you exactly what you need. And by staying present, receiving in gratitude the gifts of the universe, letting them go, they're there, and it's like a bank. It's like you put a deposit in the bank, and like, okay, I'm hungry. I'm gonna take that money out of the bank. I'm gonna take that acorn out of the ground and eat it, right? And the thing is that by doing this, you not only see to your own well-being, but you see to the well-being of your community, because Squirrel cannot possibly remember where he buried the hundreds, if not thousands, of nuts that he buries each year. And so some of those nuts, he's actually planting forests. He's actually creating more woodland, more homes for other animals, more shelter for animals, more like that one acorn, depositing that one acorn gains the interest of thousands more acorns that that oak tree is going to drop for the benefit of all the other squirrels and all the other animals in the forest. So in other words, you're doing amazingly, okay? And so it's like these are these are your wings. These are the parts that are sustaining you, that you might dig deeper, might go deeper into that shadow and actually, you know, enjoy, like, oh, that nut's not tasty, we'll get rid of that one, you know, whatever. But by finding your own darkness and seeing the darkness, not, you know, like the whole duality thing, good and evil, but seeing that darkness, seeing that shimmery, velvety darkness of the crow feather, that's the void from which all things are created. And you help others to find their own creative core, where anything is possible. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, right? So good job, Chelsea. I hope that makes sense to you. But it's just like I just get a grin when I think about you, and like how much fun you're having doing what other people think is heavy work, right? So good job. All right, Kevin. It's Kevin's turn. I always think I'm going to be able to do this within an hour, and then it's like, nope, not going to happen. Oh, well. All right. All righty. No porcupines, right, Kevin? That would be funny if that's who came up. Oh, you're welcome, Chelsea. You are amazing. You are amazing at your enthusiasm. I just got chills. And just the love of what you do, your love of the path. You're amazing, and you are going to help a lot of other people besides yourself. So, good job. All right, Kevin. Yay, no porcupine. So, this week, Kevin, you got whale. And Roulette, I won't sing the song, although it's probably in your head already. So, whale is the record keeper. It is said that whale sings the history of the earth in her song. And with whale coming up, it's like time to find your voice. It's time to tell your story. Sorry about that, Roulette. I know. But Kevin, when whale sings her song, those sound waves, like water is the best conductor of sound waves, right? And so when she sings her song, whales on the other side of the planet can hear her. They can talk back and forth. So it's time for your story to be heard. Okay? Roulette, you're so funny. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know if the first thing I go to is journaling, and I always tell it, like, a whale comes up, my first question is whether someone journals, if you've ever thought about like writing a book or something like that. But it doesn't, like, a lot of times people are like, ew, I hate writing. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be writing, but whatever medium you can use as self-expression, whether it's stories, writing, painting, drawing, creating a blog, creating a podcast, something. I'm actually like kind of leaning toward the podcast idea. I don't know if that's ever occurred to you. And you might think you don't have enough to say, but you really do. And it's time for your voice to be heard. And the thing about Whale is she just sings her song from wherever she is, right? And it broadcasts out. It's not about having to do like the evangelical thing and travel across the world and convert people to the truth or whatever. It's about doing your thing, right? It's never leaving your own path to try to teach others. It's about speaking from where you are. And like earlier I mentioned that walking with beauty, right? When you walk in beauty, everything you say ripples out, right? And it might affect the people that are in your immediate vicinity, and then it raises them a little bit, and it ripples out further when they interact with the people in their circle, and so on and so on. And so it's about being the radio tower, being who you are, living your life, living your path, but allowing it to broadcast outward, right? Like a friend of mine once told me, it's like, you're not responsible to heal the world, to change the world, to teach the world. The whole spiritual path is about finding who you are, about finding the truth, the authenticity of you in relation to Creator, as Creator, right? And so the further along your path you go, the more influence you have, because everything you do ripples outward from you, right? Creating the world that you find yourself in. And so by just continuing on your own path, allowing yourself to fill up your own pitcher, right? Fill up your own pitcher with light, there is so much going outward that it's the overflow, the stuff that's flowing over the top of your pitcher that actually helps others. And going with the frequency, with the waves, right? It's entrainment. By being your true authentic self, you give that vibe, you set that vibe out into the world. And that vibe gives other people permission. Other people's vibrations start to rise in response to your high vibration. And they might not even know what the heck is going on, but all of a sudden they feel a little lighter, a little bit better, just because they heard you say something or walked past you in the grocery store or whatever. And so it's that vibration that you have, that broadcast. I just keep seeing you as this radio tower, and with that energy just rippling out, just boom, 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 to reach the entire world, right? And so just like the picture on the card, that's the dog star Sirius, and according to mythology, that is where whale is from. That's where whale originated. And so whale always has his North Star. He always knows where he came from. This is the brightest star in the night sky. And so it's about finding your bearings, never losing sight of home, the relationship between you and Creator, and how you are one, right? And so when you begin to raise that frequency, when you start to discover who you truly, truly are, you can't help but change others in your wake, right? So, big change from last week, huh? But again, it shows just over the course of a week how much can change, how much can happen, and how much quote unquote work you can do without doing a lot, right? It's all about the interchange. You're so welcome. Yes, it's time to share your frequency. Your story is meant to be shared. So awesome. Good job, Kevin. All right, Cricket. Yay. Oh, you just got chills. I'm glad you're here, Cricket. You are the sixth card for the evening. All right. Cricket, what came up for you is Fox, and Fox came up reversed. Usually the first thing that occurs to me when Fox comes up reversed is, well, okay, maybe not the first thing because I'm just having a whole flood of other things coming in. There can be a feeling of being trapped. Are you feeling kind of boxed in? In reverse, Fox can kind of be that, and this again, I am learning this as I go, just to let you know, like this is not anything that has ever occurred to me or come up in readings before. But Fox in reverse can be that kind of claustrophobic when the world starts to kind of close in. You feel like there's no escape. And just like Fox, who is a master of illusion, any cage, anything that's boxing you in is an illusion. It's not real. Okay? Call on Fox. That's the reason Fox is coming up for you is, Fox is one of the tricksters, right? And Fox's talent is illusion, is creating like glamours, making people think one thing when something else is true. In reverse, it's like you're getting caught into things that look real, that look true, but aren't. It's like you're pulling the wool over your own eyes in a way, if that makes sense. And so call on Fox to be able to see the way out. Fox being the master of illusion, Fox has to be able to see through illusion or to, understand the nature of illusion in order not to get caught in his own illusion, right? And so Fox is the perfect one to help you see the escape hatch that you couldn't see before, right? Fox, and that's why fox hunting has been so popular for so many hundreds of years, because they're so wily, they're so cunning, they're so crafty, they're unpredictable, and they can lay false tracks. They can make you believe they're one place when they're somewhere else. They can just disappear right before your eyes. Remember that this world is an illusion, and that you are how do I put it? There is nothing in the world, there is nothing in the universe that is more powerful than you. There is nothing that can keep you caged. There is nothing that can restrict you. Okay? And if something feels that way, and believe me, I'm speaking from experience. When we lose sight of the magic, that's when, oh, hey, Valerie, good to have you here. You know, especially during this season, right? This is a season of magic. Whatever religion or spirituality you have, you know, this is the part of the year of the darkness and finding the light within the darkness. It's the time of magic. It's the time of miracles, right? And for myself, I know when I start getting anxious, or when I used to have like panic attacks and stuff, it's when I couldn't see through the illusion of the world. Everything in the world seemed real. Like that was all that was. There was nothing unseen. Like only the seen was true. And so it's helping to find those eyes to see through the illusion, right? And if you look at Fox's eyes. Their eyes are like cat eyes. They're a canine. They're related more to the dog family, but they have cat eyes, which makes them extra tricky, right? It makes them extra able to see through what's there. I mean, if you've ever been around cats, you know, every once in a while they'll start staring off at something that's not there. It's like they can see realities that we can't. And so I think Fox is calling on you as a messenger to help you see through the darkness, to see through the illusions, to see the truth behind them, to realize that, like I was just saying, that light within the darkness, you know, solstice, it's like the birth of the sun, the birth of the light in the darkest day of the year. When you're in the darkness, it's the best time to find your own light, because there's nothing else to outshine it. There's nothing else to distract from it. So, yeah, call on Fox to help you find that light, to help you find your way through the illusion, to find the trap door, you know, or to, like Wile E. Coyote, like run right into the painting on the cave wall, right? On the cliff wall. Know that it's just illusion, that you are a sovereign being, that you are divine by nature, and there is nothing that can hold you back. Anything that seems to be in your way, anything that seems to be an obstacle is just an illusion. And sometimes our greatest accomplishments are dealing with illusions. It's not even in doing physical stuff, right? Sometimes the heaviest lifting is when it comes to illusion, when it comes to figuring out who we truly are. And with the help of Fox, hopefully this will be a little lighter, be able to find the magic in there, be able to see the sparkles in the darkness, and to find your own light, okay? I hope that helps. I really, really do. The trickster, people freak out when you start talking about tricksters like Coyote, you know, the #1 trickster, as if they can pull something over on them. But the job of the trickster is not to trap you. The job of the trickster is to show you that you had the power all along, is to show you that you have the key. Kind of like the devil card in the tarot. Not that I'm an expert on tarot or anything, but you know, like there's the two people that are chained to this post, but either the key is on the post or the chain's not even connected. It's like we think we're trapped, but we're not. There is a way out. There is a way through this. And you wouldn't, how do I put this? You wouldn't be feeling this or finding this in your world unless you already had the key to solve it, right? Every problem automatically has a solution, right? Like the New York Times crossword puzzle. They don't start with the questions and then try to solve it themselves to create the puzzle. They start with the answers and they create the questions around what the answers are. Same thing with our lives. If there is a question, if there is a puzzle, if there is an obstacle, there is automatically a solution, because you are always whole. You are always divine, right? And so anything that makes you feel or look less than that, it's just a puzzle, because the truth of your being is that you are beyond all illusion. You are beyond the physical. You are creator. You are divine. You are high frequency. Your default setting is love, right? And so anything that makes it seem different from that is #1 false. Is #2, it's like, oh boy, the next step, here's the next hint in the puzzle to find my wholeness, right? So I hope that helps, Cricket. If not, if there's something, I keep like wanting to just like, if there's something else that you need help with, you can message me, and we can work on something if it's something really big and scary. But this is not beyond you. You've got this. All right. I hope that helps. Let me know, Cricket. So one last card, whether you had a personal reading or not, this card is for you for the week. All right, everybody. It was Hawk. Hawk came up in reverse, which means trust your guidance. Know that there is a higher power. Know that, you know, one of my things, I did a interview with a radio station one time, and the guy was asking me, like, so what's your mission? Like, why do you practice shamanism? What's your thing? I'm glad that made sense, Cricket. And I was like, I think part of my mission is to demystify shamanism. He's like, how the hell are you going to do that? It automatically works with spirits and that kind of thing. And I'm like, let's normalize spirits. Let's normalize that you can open and speak to your spirits, that you can get guidance, that there is more than just the physical, and that you do have help. You've got ancestors, you've got angels, you've got animal guides, you've got teachers in the non-physical realm that are helping you, that are walking with you every moment of the day. So it's time to put away the disbelief and really listen and know that You know, it's like we're all psychic. We're born psychic. It's part of our nature. But we take these classes in psychic development like we're trying to learn a skill that we don't have, or to add something to us that isn't natural, when actually any psychic development class is about making you aware of the skills you already have, to make you aware that you're already psychic, that you're already picking up psychic messages, that you're already intuitive. And so it's time to pay attention to the messages. Trust the messages. You can have confidence that what you feel, that what you know is true, okay? The universe is speaking to you, and it's speaking to you in your own unique language that only you will understand, right? And so it's finding about, again, discovering the language that is already yours. What is the interface between you and spirit? Is it words? Is it thoughts? Is it colors? Is it smells? Pay attention. You're already there. It's just a matter of wiping the mirror clean so you can see clearly, see yourself clearly. But you are all guided. You are all connected. It's a part of nature that we're all connected to each other and to spirit. And so like Tammy's message last week, stand down. It's okay. You don't have to reach for something that's already within you. In fact, the more you chase it, the more you push it away from you. Relax, meditate, write, dance, whatever connects you to spirit, and be open to the guidance that comes, whatever it is. And once you start just following those breadcrumbs, and the synchronicities start, and then the synchronicities get bigger, you come to a point where you can no longer deny them. You can no longer deny that you are spiritual, that you are connected to spirit, that you're not some lowly waif off on the street corner somewhere. Oh, awesome, Tammy. That's awesome. So last week I told Tammy to write affirmations on her mirror, and she's been doing that. Now I just had to wipe the mirror clean. I love how this stuff works. I love this. Anyway, so listen. When you hear a bell, and there's actually, I think there's apps where you can there's apps where they, like, your phone will randomly ring, like a bell will ring. And it's like when you hear that bell, that's that time to stop. It's like the hawk cries. You hear the hawk cry, it's time to stop. Where am I? What am I doing? What am I thinking? And that's it. It's paying attention. It's becoming aware of what's already there. You've got all the answers. You've got all the magic within you. It's just a matter of becoming aware of it, connecting the dots, right? Saying, when I thought this, oh, I had that feeling. I felt like I needed to go to the grocery store. And then you go to the grocery store and you meet someone that you haven't seen for 20 years, and they have a job offer for you or something, right? It's like, those are the kind of things that happen when you start walking your own guidance, when you start listening to your own guidance. You can trust it. It's more solid than physical reality. It will hold you long beyond when the earth is no longer here. It's what really connects you. It's your essence. It's who you are. Okay? You just, oh, Tammy, you just watched Wonderful Life for the first time. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Yes, so listen for the bells. Listen for chimes. Listen for the birds. Oh, that was the first time ever? That is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie so much, and I always bawl my head off. Awesome. So that is our time for tonight. I thank you all so much for joining me. I love this so much. A couple of things. I'm not sure yet, I will update you, but I'm going to be taking a course with another shaman in this area, where we go to the various zoos in the area and we connect with the animals. We get guidance from the animals. We actually create prayer sticks to collect the prayers of the animals, and then we go do ceremony and burn those sticks to release the animals' prayers for them. And we do Reiki with the animals and stuff. Anyway, that is like the next 4 months, and it's on according to the schedule, it's like on Mondays. So I am not absolutely sure I'm going to be able to do this every single Monday for the next 4 months. But it'll only be one Monday that I miss, if I miss any. It depends on how soon I get home, if I can make it back in time to do this. But or maybe I'll pop it up or pop it back an hour or something, and we can do it then. So anyway, just to keep you updated, be transparent. We'll see what happens with that. Just stay tuned. I will let you know. And also, coming up in a couple of weeks on December 13th, I haven't taught for so long, but I'm going to be teaching my Introduction to Shamanic Journey class down in Renton at the Four Sisters Wellness Center, where my office is. And so if you're ever wondered about shamanism, what it is, what a shaman does, where it came from, why it's here, etc., you might be interested in this class. And not only do you learn the history of shamanism, I actually will teach you how to perform a shamanic journey, which is the technique that shamans have used for over 100,000 years to connect to their spirits. That's the perfect time for the hawk card. And we will actually do a journey to the lower world, where you will actually meet and interact with your lower world power animal. And once you know how to journey, once you've got that one spirit guide, everything else is golden. You don't really need anything else. Although, come February, I think, I am going to be teaching another year-long class, deepening the journey, so that once you know how to journey, it kind of like, what are the questions I can ask? Where can I go? What can I do? What other guides can I meet? That kind of thing. So just to put you on alert to stay tuned and to get more information. But that first class will be on December 13th from 6 to 9. It's a 3-hour class for $150, which I think is a pretty good deal. And I would love to see you there. Space is limited because I'm going to be doing it in my office. But let me know. You can message me, you can email me, whatever, and let me know. And I hope to see you there. So anyway, thank you again for watching. Thank you for sharing this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope things made sense to you. And I hope you got a little bit of wisdom out of it. I am gratefully accept donations. This is my day job. And so anything I can, any donations I receive are so heartfelt and appreciated. So my PayPal link will be in the comments under this, in the not the comments, but the description. when I share this to my Facebook page, and then I will also upload this video to my YouTube channel, Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, where I have over 2.5 years of these videos. So if you ever need guidance, just pick one in random and you can watch it and get your answers. That's a resource that's there. So please follow my YouTube channel, like my videos, visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, if you would like a personal reading all to yourself. And you can read about the other things I do. I mentioned soul retrieval earlier, and different shamanic healings and readings and all kinds of stuff. So you can check out what's available, and you can sign up for those things right there on my website. I look forward to spending some time with you one-on-one. We can do it on Zoom or in person if you're local. And I guess that's that. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you again. I always look forward to this. I always appreciate those of you who will take an hour or so out of your time to spend with me. It's just awesome. So thank you. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Go shining. Bye.